Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I'm Courtney. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello to everybody out there. How you doing? This is like my millionth podcast I have done in a row. I have been on quite the podcast rant lately. I want it noted though, I am not talking politics. I haven't been talking politics in the last 4 episodes, at least, minimum of 4 episodes. I did not discuss politics. And I'm going to do a little politics today. I'm not going to get fired up and all crazy, but I'm going to touch on some political things. Maybe not even political, I don't know, but touch on a thing. So first and foremost, hi, hello, welcome, whether this is your first time or, you've listened to me a handful of times, or maybe you've been with me since the beginning, which I appreciate so much. I genuinely appreciate everybody that has been listening to me since the get-go, since day one. You are freaking the G. You're the OG. You guys are the OGs. You guys are the original insomniacs, and I appreciate you so much. I genuinely do. Like I said, I wish I could think of cool, clever ways to tell you how and why. How much I appreciate you in cool ways. But I can let you know that I'm genuine when I say I appreciate it greatly. It means the world to me. And if you haven't been with me since the very beginning, maybe this is your very first time, or maybe you're somewhere in between. I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. Again, I love it when people from other countries are tuning in, especially countries that I pick on a lot, like France and Canada and the UK. I pick on them quite a bit. So the fact that I have people listening to me from those countries, and maybe they're listening to me because they hate me and they can't stand me, and they're just like, that Courtney. Or maybe they're listening to me because they can identify what I'm saying. And I don't live in France, I don't live in Canada, and I don't live anywhere in the UK, any of those countries. So, of course, I cannot speak factually on what's happening in those countries. I can only speak from what I look up on ChatGPT because it's unbiased, or what I see on Fox or CNN or social media. So I don't know what's actually going on there. I would love for people from those countries to speak up, send me an email, let me know what their experiences are, if they are loving where their country is at, loving where their government is at, if they're loving how their leader of their country is handling situations, let me know. Heck, if you're from this country, you can let me know. Just because I voted for Trump does not mean I think the man is perfect. Because remember, I don't think anybody is perfect. I don't think a single human on this earth is perfect, including good old Trumpster. I think he sounds like an idiot a lot. I think he sticks his foot in his mouth a lot. I think he's can be pretty arrogant, and he's not the most eloquent of speakers. But do I think he's an excellent president? I do. Do I think he's made some mistakes or not handled everything properly or exactly correct? I do not. Because again, people aren't perfect, and we're not going to handle everything perfectly all the time. If we handled things perfectly all the time, well, this world would be vastly different than it is, wouldn't it? We would be looking at utopia. It would be heaven, wouldn't it? So, there's that. I don't think that a single human, a single religion, a single race, a single gender, a single sexual orientated group, that doesn't make sense, but you know what I'm saying. I don't think any of us are perfect. We all have some maintenance. You know, we need to keep ourselves maintained. We need to keep ourselves constantly educated, I think, in my opinion. I think we need to be educating ourselves. I don't feel like we can form opinions. We can. I mean, we can, obviously. We can form opinions based on just our experiences alone, of course. And many people do that, including myself, a lot. But I feel we should do a better job at looking at things from all different angles before we base our opinions, you know? And we're not always going to do that because that's a lot of work and a lot of time, a lot of energy. And we are Americans and we think that we have places to go and things to do. And more often than not, we don't. We don't. We don't have better things to do. We just think we do. So I don't know. And, you know, has anybody else missed the whole all the Europeans loving us thing? I'm sorry, but that was quite lovely having people from many countries who originally only got one opinion, one perspective. They only saw what their media showed them, or even our media. You know, they only got things from one perspective, one point of view. So they based their opinions on that one point of view. And lo and behold, when they came to America and they saw another point of view, they saw our point of view, they were like, what? This is pretty freaking awesome. Okay, America, you've got it going on. You are pleasant. You are kind. You are hospitable. You are welcoming. You have manners. I mean, the biggest thing that everybody kept saying is, we're friendly, we're friendly, we're friendly. We like to help out. We have great food. I mean, I'm missing that. I'm missing because now we're just stuck with a bunch of people living in this country that hate this country. Granted, there are a lot of people that live in this country that love this country. And shout out to you. Shout out to proud Americans. Shout out to the immigrants that came here legally who love this country. Shout out to you. I am 1001% in support of legal immigrants that came here legally that love this country. But what a perspective, what a point of view that the people from all different countries, all walks of life, all backgrounds, when they came to America and they heard what their media and their lies, you know, their lying sack of crap media had to say about America, then they get here and they're like, wow, the media lied to us. And we were fed a bunch of baloney, a bunch of bullshit, and we ate it up and we believed it. And now that we're here, we see your point of view. We can base our opinions now from actual experience, and we love America. I'm missing that because now we're stuck with a bunch of entitled, spoiled, rotten brats that think they deserve the sun and the moon and the star. And people keep making comments on my page saying things like, you're a racist. Okay, well, can you give me an example of how I'm a racist? What have I said and done that's a racist? Clearly, everything you have said and done is racist. Okay, so I love how people think they can just point a finger like it's a witch hunt, like we're back in Massachusetts and Salem, and we can just point and then make a claim and then have it be true. I love how people can think too. People will be like, well, I haven't experienced that. I've never experienced that. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were Jesus. I didn't know that the sun and the moon revolved around you and your experiences. Well, you didn't experience or see or hear about my dog dying. Did that mean my dog did not die? Because you didn't experience it? Because you didn't see it? Did my mom not pass away and my father not pass away because you didn't see it? You didn't hear about it? It didn't happen in front of you? I mean, people need to pull their heads out of their own derrieres and realize that the sun and the moon and the stars do not revolve around your experiences and your life and you and where you are and the city that you live in. Just because you haven't seen something with your own eyes doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you haven't experienced something with your own eyes doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you haven't been bullied or threatened, had your life threatened, doesn't mean other people haven't been bullied and had their lives threatened. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all about perspective. It's all about us not walking around thinking that we're the center of the universe, that other people live on this earth as well. We share this planet, and what I experience is going to be different than what Sally and Joe experience. Again, I've done it because I'm not perfect. I've based opinions on things I didn't know what I was talking about. I was wrong. I was ill-informed. I wasn't educated. I was ignorant. And I can admit it. And then I do my research and I'm like, oh, dang, I was wrong. I owe people an apology. Oops, my bad. And again, what's wrong with apologizing? It sucks. I'm sure people don't like it. It's never fun to be wrong. But you know what's even worse? When you can't admit it. It makes you more of a douche. It doesn't make you a douche to be wrong. It makes you a douche not to admit it and not to apologize. That's what makes you a douche. People can be wrong because, again, we're not perfect. We're flawed. So we're not always going to be correct. What makes you a piece of crap and a bad person is when you don't apologize and you can't admit that you're wrong. To me, in my opinion. The crow over here that you can hear in the background, backing me up. I don't know. Anyway, so I posted this meme, I guess you could call it a meme, yeah, that gave a quote. And I'll tell you what the quote was here in a second. The quote was, it said, oh no, I erased it. Basically, it was violence is basically what the ill-informed or the, now I shouldn't quote it because I don't want to get the quote wrong, but basically it's violence is what people do when they're not educated or as a last resort kind of thing. And for some reason, everybody decided that that was a political statement. They turned it into a political statement. And here's what I found hilarious. So that's not a political thing. It's talking about violence. And nowhere in there did it mention a political party. I didn't mention Republican or Democrat. In fact, I just posted a meme with the quote on it. And it's not my quote. It's not a quote that I made up. And people decided to turn it into a political thing. But here's what's interesting. Do you know what they did? They were like, how dare you say the left is violent? The right is violent as well. How dare you criticize the left of being violent? How dare you say that this is political and the left? So here's my question. I never made it political, yet it was the left and only the left that made comments like that on my post. Everybody else just did a heart and said they liked it or said amen or said 100%. But then a bunch of lefties, like 5 different lefties, said, hey, the left is not the one that's violent. You mega pieces of crap are the violent ones. You mega pieces of shit are the dumb fucking violent ones. And I'm like, well, number one, you're being violent. You're attacking me. So you're being violent right now because I posted something that was not violent and it was not at all directed toward any political party and it didn't mention a political party. So number one, I find it funny that you're talking about attacking and violence and then you're calling me a bunch of names and attacking me and admitting that you're from the left. That's pretty funny. Also, why is it that the left and only the left is taking that politically and also assuming that I'm talking about the left? Is it because subconsciously you know that you're violent people? Is it because when you saw that and you were like, she must be talking about the left. I know she's talking about the left. Why did you think that? Is it because you know that you are violent? Is it because you're projecting? Are you projecting? Why would you assume I was talking about the left and not the right, or about a certain category of people? Maybe I was talking about a religious group. Maybe I wasn't talking about anybody, because I wasn't. I was just talking about any person, anybody that uses violence. I wasn't talking about a certain religion or a certain race or a gender, and certainly not a political background. But I do find it funny that the only people that commented, and there were like 5 of them, and all 5 of them were people on the left, assuming that I was talking about the left, and then they attacked me. So as they're trying to pretend that they're peaceful and calm, they're attacking me and being violent as they're trying to say that they're not violent people. And again, why would you assume I was speaking about the left unless subconsciously you know that you are a violent person, or that the left is a lot more violent than the right? You are projecting. So I feel like we should get a pen and paper. You should lay on a couch, and we should talk about why it is you chose to attack me in a violent way while telling me that your party's not violent, even though I never said it was. And then you felt the need to stick up for your party. Why are you projecting? Why are you subconsciously thinking I'm talking about you, unless you think that your party is incredibly animalistic? Which I do believe you are, but that's not what I was saying in that post. I do think, and the proof, some guy was like, white people are doing all the killing. And then I'm like, white liberals, yes. White liberals in the last 10 years, white liberals have been doing the assassinating, yes. It has not been white Republicans. It has been white liberals or brown-skinned illegal immigrants. And when I say brown-skinned, I mean Mexican. I mean from the Middle East. I mean from Haiti. I mean from all countries. Illegal immigrants and white liberals have been doing all of the rioting, all of the vandalizing, all of the stealing, all the burglarizing, all of the, I said unaliving, all of the assassinating, all of the attempted assassinations on Trump, all 4 of the attempted assassinations on Trump, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the guy who in New York City threw the thing that was like shrapnel, and it, thank God, didn't explode. But there's been lots and lots of violence, yes, and it has been and riots, and vandalizing, and setting things on fire, and destroying, and burning, and it's been from illegal immigrants, and it has been from white liberals. Now, am I saying that Republicans have never committed a crime? Of course I'm not saying that. Obviously, I'm not saying that. Am I saying white Republicans or white Christians or white Catholics or white Mormons have never committed a crime? Nope. I'm not saying that at all. Am I saying black people and black on black crime isn't a huge, huge issue? I'm not saying that, because black on black crime is far, far, far more of a problem than white on black crime. And we do need to address that. We need to start really drilling that into people's heads, that black people don't need to be as fearful of white people as they do their own color. That's just a fact. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me for your statistics, for how you treat each other. It's how you're treating each other. Just like I can't get mad that there are white nurses that want me dead. I mean, I can get mad about it, but that's just happening. There are white nurses that say that if you're a Trump supporter or you're a Republican, that you're going to harm people. That's just something that's happening. Yeah, white people are harming people. Black people are harming people. Hispanic people are harming people. Gay people, straight people, bisexual people, transgender people. Everybody has the potential and has caused violence and destruction. Everybody has. People from all backgrounds, all walks of life have and are committing crimes. That said, black on black crime is far more, as a fact, of a problem than white on black. That's just a fact. So stop going around acting like you have to be scared of white people, because it's not white people unless it's white liberals, and it's right now black on black needs to worry. Right now, illegal immigrants are a problem because they are being violent. Don't be mad at me for pointing out statistics and facts. That's just a thing. Sorry if it makes you mad that I point out what's going on in the world. Now, again, does that mean I think that every illegal immigrant is committing a crime? No, I do not. So don't start with your, so every illegal immigrant is a bad guy? Well, actually, I do think if you're an illegal immigrant, you should not have come here illegally. I do think that's a problem. I think a crime is a crime. Now, if you genuinely fear for your life, like Christians in South Africa, for example, who are actually actively in 2026 currently being unalived simply because they're Christian, or like Jewish people who are genuinely actively in 2026 still to this day being persecuted and unalived, or children that in the Congo, I don't want to misrepresent, but there are children being made and forced to be part of the militia. Okay, I have sympathy. Of course I feel bad for people. Of course I can empathize for people. And I don't want anyone to genuinely, for real, be fearful of their lives. And I don't want people to live in such horrendous states that they can't eat and they can't have health care. But unfortunately, we have our own citizens in our own country that also are going through horrible, horrible things, who also don't have health care or mental health care or a home or food. So right now, of course, I'm going to prioritize American citizens, especially when my tax-paying money, my money that I'm the one getting up. If you're not getting up and working, then shut the fuck up. You have zero say unless you're retired and you're an elderly person. Unless you're a retired elderly person or retired military person, then you don't get to say a fucking word if you're not working. Shut up. Don't act like you have a say in stuff when you're not contributing at all. If you're just laying around pretending that you can't work and pretending that you're disabled while collecting money from everybody else and complaining about it, shut the fuck up. Very few people are so disabled that they genuinely can't work. There are people with no arms and no limbs. No arms and no limbs. And they still work. One guy still wrestles. He's a wrestler. He's a fucking wrestler with no arms and no legs. So very few people are actually disabled. There's always a job that you can do. To the people that are actually disabled, I don't have a problem with them being at home, obviously. I don't have a problem with stay-at-home parents where one parent is working and the other is staying home because they're trying to watch their children. I don't have a problem with truly retired people who have worked and earned retirement, or with military. But everybody else, and I know of people personally who claim to be disabled, and they aren't. They're not disabled. Being depressed and being bipolar are not a disability. It sucks. It's a mental illness. It's something that sucks. It's something that I hate people have to deal with, but it isn't a disability. So, of course, if you don't work and you're reaping all of the rewards, I don't think you should have a say in anything. And frankly, I think you should butt out of the conversation that doesn't involve you because you're not contributing anything. But boy, isn't it always the people that aren't doing shit that speak the loudest and scream the loudest and want the most and have to have all of the attention? It's always the people that think that all they have to do is scream really loud and point at you and call you a name, and then they act like that's the truth. And if someone doesn't take that as the truth, they're like, how dare you? And then they want your entire life ruined. They want you to be fired. They want you to be canceled. They want you to be censored. They want to unalive you. They want to poison you. They want to punch you because you, how dare you, not 1000% believe what an absolute distraught, screaming, blue-haired person is screaming at you and calling you names. How dare you not believe what they say? How dare you not believe what they say and take it as fact? Because we all know people that scream really loud are factual. We all know that the louder you scream, the more factual you are, right? That's how it works. If you go out and you cause a big scene and you destroy everything and you burn everything down, that makes things factual. That makes you correct. That makes the things that you believe in okay to force down everybody's throat. Because you know, the way that you get people to follow you and believe you is by destroying everything they own. I mean, that's the best way to get people to listen to you, is by destroying and burning and vandalizing and looting and screaming as loud as you can. Boy, nothing makes me pay attention and listen to what someone says and take someone seriously and believe someone and stand by someone than when they're verbally abusing me and threatening my life. Boy, nothing says education, intelligence, tolerance, love, and peace like destruction and burning and bullying and threatening and assassinating. Boy, you guys have done a super good job at proving your point. And, you know, that's why the Democrats are doing so well, right? How's the Democrat Party holding up right now? Let's see. We've got AOC and Gavin Newsom and Kate Bass and what's her name? Nithya Raman. We have Chuck Schumer. We have Nancy Pelosi. We have Jasmine Crockett. I mean, guys, is this a joke? Are we being punked? Is Ashton Kutcher going to come out and be like, psych, just kidding, this has all been just a big joke? I'm waiting for it. I'm hoping, God, that would be nice if this was a joke. At the same time, it'd be pretty long, drawn-out punk. But this is what the Democrats are standing by right now. And, hey, you do you, Scotty P, but it didn't really work out for you before. And then they want Kamala Harris. Did you guys see the ad with Gavin Newsom and whoever the hell that chick was? I honestly don't even know. I should, but I don't. They're in a bar, and they're acting like they're two homies, two down-to-earth, just two down-to-earth politicians over here. Oh, my God. How do they have the audacity, honestly, to think that people are going to buy this nonsense, that they're just down to... How is Gavin Newsom even showing his face in public? And how hasn't California... Why are they still looking at him? Why? He has literally committed fraud, literally stole California's money along with Kate Bass. And you guys just don't give a shit in California. You're like, we're not going to vote for Spencer. Although I'm still convinced that Spencer did get the votes and that Gavin did exactly what he said he was going to do. And all the dirty politicians do what they always do when they're not winning. Cheat, cheat, cheat. That's what they do when they don't win. They cheat, they lie, they go and immediately start a bunch of propaganda. It's ridiculous because God forbid, that's why they don't want voter ID. That's why they do want open borders, because it's the only way they can win. They can only win if they're shady motherfuckers. But nothing's ever going to happen. Nothing will ever happen to these people, ever. Only Trump. Trump will be the only person that they care about. And it's sad that they base quite literally their entire lives on Trump, which means they think he's God. I mean, you do realize that when they blame him for absolutely everything, including climate change, they think he's God. They would blame him for an earthquake. They would blame him for hurricanes and tornadoes. They put that much ability into Trump, so they think he's Jesus. That man could cure cancer, could save a bunch of kittens and babies out of an orphanage, and they'd still hate him and think that they would find something wrong with it. I, honest to God, hope he says that oxygen is toxic, oxygen is terrible, no one should breathe, because then maybe all the dumb Democrats would listen to him. I'm sorry, if you're stupid enough, it's kind of Darwin, you know? It's Darwin. If you're dumb enough to eat a bunch of pills that even Tylenol tells you, and doctors will tell you if it's okay or if it's good to take Tylenol when you're pregnant, if you're going to be stupid enough to make videos, which people did, of being like, look, here I go, Trump, eating Tylenol while I'm pregnant, what a fucking piece of shit parent you are. So to spite Trump, you're going to potentially harm your child. You're going to harm your unborn baby who has nothing whatsoever to say and nothing to do with Trump, all because you're trying to spite Trump, who will probably never see your stupid fucking video, never hear of your video, not know that you made a video. You should have your child taken away. Same with all the people that committed crimes, in my eyes, to signing the paperwork to say, go ahead, mutilate my child, chop off those balls and dick, chop them off, throw them away. They are not necessary. He doesn't need them. We don't love him with those. We do not love him, and we can't accept him. He has to transition, or we don't love him. That is what you're doing. When you are telling your minor child that it's okay to have their body parts that they were born with, and they should love, and they should cherish, and they should be comfortable and happy in the body they were given, and you should promote children to love themselves. You should promote children to be respectful of their bodies, to love their bodies, to protect their bodies, to be healthy. And now you've decided that that child doesn't need children. You've allowed them to make decisions when their brains are not developed. Their brains are not developed. Their brains aren't developed. My God, I thought I was a million things when I was a kid. You're going to let me make decisions? Well, then what's the point on you being a parent? Why do they live with you then? You may as well send them off to go live on their own. Because if you think that they can make decisions to cut off their breasts and turn their vagina into a penis, then I think that they, in your eyes, according to you, can live on their own, cook on their own, drive a car, and get married and have babies and go into the military. I mean, what are you thinking, you sadistic fuck? You gross, vile, disgusting, not even human, subhuman piece of garbage. The doctors and the psychiatrists and the parents that went on board with this should all be in prison. You should all be mocked. You should be shamed in public. You should be stoned. And again, you should be, actually, I think you should be used again as test lab rats in Fauci's lab. That's how I feel. Not changing it. Not sorry. Not even a little bit sorry. Let me think about it. No. I'm not sorry that I'm protecting kids, and I don't think that kids should have the right to never be a parent taken away from them when they are minors and can't think for themselves and make those type of decisions. If they still feel that way when they're like 25, great. When their brains are actually fully developed at like 21 and 25, when you've actually done your research, when you yourself, not your parents, not your doctors, not your counselor, not other people, but when you yourself with your own eyes can go talk to people that have transitioned, can go talk to doctors that are not biased, can talk to counselors that are not biased, can read all the studies on suicide rates of transitioning people, and transgender people and detransitioning people. Why don't you look up the suicide rates? Because you've just destined your child to never have children, to be in pain for the rest of their lives, to never ever have children, to be in pain for the rest of their lives, to have their entire lives be miserable because their bodies are going to be achy and hurting all the time. And you allowed them to do it without even a thought in your head. Because for some reason, you think that a 13-year-old can make a good decision. And shame on all these celebrities that have more than, according to them, according to their misleading, delusional heads, they have more than one child that's transgender. Whatever happened to the statistics supposedly being 1%? Less than 1%. It's supposed to be less than 1%. Interesting, because every single frickin' Hollywood celebrity has more than one child that's transgender, according to them. I mean, Megan Fox says that all of her children are transgender, and she's got like 3 of them. Well, she's got 4, 1 baby, and one's an actual baby, and I'm sure she'll be saying at 1 year old that her 1-year-old daughter is transgender. Because she's a fucking shit show. And then what's crazy is people look up to these people. Why would you look up to someone? Does being a celebrity make you suddenly know everything? I don't know. That's my spiel. Sorry, I don't mean to go off. I really don't. I shouldn't. But I am, and I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. That's my spiel. That's my religious crap for today. Sorry. I said it. I meant it. I'm not taking it back. I'm inside now, so it's going to be kind of echoey. But anyway, that's it. Those are the things on my mind. Crazy people. Sorry, I've got to rinse this out. But crazy people are on my mind. Crazy people keeping me up. Please don't be crazy. If you're someone that's not crazy, thank the Lord. Bless you, bless you. We need more of you. You know what's not crazy? Listening to my podcast. Maybe it is crazy. It probably is crazy listening to my podcast because I can be pretty crazy. I certainly can go off. That's the truth. But it's still, I don't think, crazy for you to listen to me. Anyway, I've been doing really well at balancing political stuff with just life stuff. This is my first podcast after like 4 or 5 that had nothing to do with politics. So I do mix it up, you guys. I'm not always crazy. If you stick in there with me, you'll find an episode. I promise you, there are many episodes that have nothing whatsoever to do with me getting fired up or politics. Anyway, you rock. Thank you so very much for listening to my podcast. Thank you for just putting up with all of my shenanigans, with my crazy episodes that are half the time putting you to sleep or need editing and you can hear too much in the background, or I accidentally pause it and I don't realize I pause it and then it doesn't even flow and you still listen. Why? Because you're a badass motherfucker. That's why. If you listen to this podcast, you honestly are a badass, because I get pretty fired up and I say a lot of things. And for you to listen, it means you're not a snowflake. So kudos to you. Cheers to you for being a badass, for having a spine, for having a backbone. I love it. It takes a hard-ass person to listen to my podcast, and you're doing it. Keep it up. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, check out my YouTube, check out my Instagram, check out Facebook, TikTok, Clapper, like and subscribe. Please continue to listen to my podcast and tell everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Remember to control the things you can. Let go of all the rest. Take a deep, good breath in through your nose and let it out. And enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time.